Sunday, President Obama's budget director said there's still time to, quote, get something big done in the budget talks. Of course, the fight over spending cuts and raising the debt limit is also the first major battle of 2012 in the presidential campaign.
And this morning, we continue our series of political roundtables with CBS News political correspondent Jan Crawford and National Journal congressional correspondent Major Garrett. Great to have both of you with us this morning. So, Major, let's talk about this. The deadline is looming here.
Yes.
Got to get something done soon, but of course nothing happened over the weekend. There are no meetings scheduled for today. Do you get the sense that lawmakers understand how politically damaging all of this bickering could be to them?
I think they're beginning to understand the public is dissatisfied, looks at Washington as immobilized and stuck right before an enormously important deadline that's not theoretical. It has very real consequences for their economic livelihood, and they don't like to see that. The idea of a big deal, that's over. It'll be conceptualized in rhetoric, but there is going to be no big deal. What you're going to look at in the Senate is an emerging arrangement between the Republican leader, Mitch McConnell, and the Majority Leader, Harry Reid. They will move this, whatever it is, package first, send it over to the House. It will be a fait accompli probably by the August 2nd deadline, probably right up against it.
Is it one of those things, though? Are we a little concerned that the public's maybe getting a little confused with all this? You've got so many plans that have been introduced and reintroduced. You've got cut, cap, and balance. You got Plan B. You got the fallback option. You got the Biden plan.
A lot of minutia.
It's so much each and every day, and we keep telling people Armageddon is looming.
No, but I mean, I think the bottom line is the public well understands, the issues and the stakes here. And if a deal is not reached, the United States could go into default. And I think people do get what that means. And I certainly believe now Barack Obama gets what that means. And you've seen, I think, an increased sense of urgency from the White House in the last week or two that something has to be done. Obviously, people, and according to our poll out this morning, I mean, people really are holding Republicans in Congress responsible, but they're also holding Barack Obama responsible. Those key independents, 52% in our poll out this morning say they disapprove of how the president is handling these negotiations. That could have a huge impact going forward and into 2012.
And congressional Republicans also have an issue here as well. 71% say they disapprove of how they're handling things. With the president's number, are you surprised that the number is as low as it is? Could it have not been higher?
Well, the president has been trying for the last 2 weeks to say to the country, I want a big deal. I want to rise above traditional politics. Those are close to his 2012 campaign themes, and they reflect what he said in 2008. Yeah. He's not going to get that. The reality is Congress simply can't pass a big deal. There aren't the votes for that. So he knows his fallback position is going to be less than he's advertising to the American public. But in the interim, he wants to spend some time looking like he's going big and going nonpartisan, if you will.
Yeah. Jan, when it comes to
centrist leader, he's going to be, positioning himself as this reasonable centrist who's trying to get this deal done, which is,
It's interesting because when it comes to the Republican frontrunners, you have Romney, who's staying out of all of this. I mean, he's the money man. He's the guy who comes from corporate America and supposedly has an appreciation for these things, but he's not interjecting much into this debt debate.
I think that is very wise for Mitt Romney to do. There is no gain in someone like Romney kind of weighing in with color commentary, like, it's third and long or something in an inconsequential series. I mean, the wise move is for him to stay out of this and keep the focus on Barack Obama. He doesn't have to vote on it like Michelle Bachmann does, so that's a different situation. But I think with President Obama, there's got to be two things that are concerning to him. Right now, people are very unhappy with Republicans in Congress, but the Republicans in Congress are kind of controlling the message. That is going to change as this campaign starts heating up. The Republican nominee will soon really be the microphone, hold that microphone for the party, and that's going to, I think, really hurt the president as this campaign unfolds.
Major, is this a missed opportunity, though, for Mitt Romney when you've got candidates here on the Republican side who the country, obviously, just by looking at poll numbers and with the money that they have in their war chest, there's candidates that the country's not fallen in love with. Would this be an opportunity for someone to come to the forefront with a plan and maybe get out there a little bit?
It would be an opportunity, but Mitt Romney knows that whatever he proposes is going to be lost in whatever the negotiations are between the White House and Congress. If you're an outsider, you can't find 218 votes in the House, you can't find 60 votes in the Senate, and that's going to be how the deal is going to be struck. The one thing that Mitt Romney has done, he has endorsed cut, cap, and balance, which is the Tea Party-inspired, very aggressive budget-cutting, balanced budget amendment to the Constitution idea. So he's trying to align himself, at least quietly, with those in the Tea Party who want a much more aggressive spending cut, no tax increase solution or proposal to deal with this problem.
But is this the week? This is the week something's got to get done in order to get it on paper and get it done by the 2nd, correct?
I think a deal will get done. I mean, Barack Obama is not going to be the first president in history, really. I mean,
to default.
To default.
This is the week of calisthenics and warm-ups. Next week's the big deal.
Still could get downgraded, though. The debt could still get downgraded without a decision. vision.
Yeah, they got to do something, that's for sure. Thank you both.
Thanks.